Can't nobody tell you shit. Why you feel like this? Can't nobody tell you shit. What up, man?
Yeah, sure. Man, I'm good, bro. How are you? How was you just had the road trip?
Bruh, road trip of a lifetime, man. I was initially against it, but it was a good call by Chris.
That's what's up. Well, shit, man. Thanks for tapping in with me to do this, bro. This is episode 4 of my check-in series, man. Thanks for taking the time to do it. Well, yeah, we were just saying. So, what? You didn't want to do the road trip? When I moved out here, I didn't want to do the road trip either.
Oh, so you did one though?
No, I had my car sent out. Originally, I was like, yo, I'm gonna just drive straight through. I'm gonna get a bunch of weed, some snacks, just do it. Thanks. Then my mom was like, nah, don't drive it. You should just fly out. Like, why not? I was like, okay, yeah, you're probably right. Maybe something happened. So I just flew out, had the car sent out.
So I think this is what was the game changer for me. Like, we were in the car, you know, getting on 3-4 hours. You know, it's just starting to initially happen. You're still in Indiana. Then you get to like Missouri and Kansas, and it's just like a barren ass,
just flat
wasteland. Outside of the Ozarks, we drove through the Ozarks. That was cool.
Okay.
But yeah, it was like the game changer for me ultimately came when we got to like Colorado and Utah, because you start to see like the earth changing around you and all of these structures growing and shit like that, and like as you go through Colorado, it's like this wall of ice, and you're driving through the wall of ice, and everything looks great. But then, like, as the atmosphere gets drier, the rocks start to like warp up, and it looks like a hallucination, but it's just the heat affecting the rocks.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's kind of like, it's weird to see like the earth change, and then boom, you're in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's just like casinos and hotels,
sluts and gambling. Like, real shit.
Shit, man. So when I do these, I always start obviously just making sure everybody's good, but I always want to tell the story of like how I've become friends and how I've met everyone that I'm talking to and how I've known them for such a long time, really at this point now, but also how like everyone that I'm talking to is connected somehow. Like it's all those degrees of separation. Like everybody knows each other. So we'll say we met Wright State days. Shout out to Wright State back in like 2008, I believe. 2017. Yeah, it was like 2008 when we met, and it was, I'm pretty sure it was like over some sneakers and shit. Like,
so it's crazy. I remember meeting you a couple of times. So I remember seeing you initially as like the one black dude that was at all the other white events. And I was like, damn, he's everywhere. Like, who is this kid? And I remember going up to you, shaking your hand. You was like, yeah, I play for the hockey team. I was like, damn, you gotta be the only one.
Yeah.
But then I started seeing you at like other events, and like you was definitely one of the freshest out there. I'm not gonna lie.
Appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? Fresh recognized fresh, bro. And you definitely kept some heat on. You had the threes. You had some vintage threes early.
Yeah.
But my most memorable moment, bro, gotta be you and Rob smoking the FT.
That was mainly him. That was his thing. That was mainly his thing.
He was like, yeah, you could get Jay for the FT. I was like, oh shit. That might have been Wayne there too, for real. I ain't gonna lie.
Probably. Yeah, that was definitely Ralph's thing. He loved them FTs, bro. Like, wake up in the morning, like, the fuck, bro? It's mad early. You smoking the FT? Like, what is up with you, man?
Just in deep thought. So me and my dude Crooks and my dude Smoke, we was talking the other day, and we was like, we really have to be going through like some life changes to be smoking miles.
Yeah, and still to this day, like,
yeah.
I tried to actually, I tried to get him to stop. I tried to get him to stop smoking miles for a while, but he wasn't having it. And then it was funny because when I was home last, like when I saw you last, I saw him like later on in my trip. He was smoking a blunt. I'm like, bro, you still haven't quit?
Damn, you still ain't kicked the habit, huh?
That's his thing, though. But man, like it's knowing each other for that long is dope to see that a lot of the things that we had talked about back then are things that are happening right now, and everyone's really, stuck to their journey and like really really put in effort to like make this shit go. You can always tell like who really wants to chase their dreams and make their dreams happen and pursue their dreams when you see the longevity. Because people
Yeah.
forget that this shit is a journey. You can't like, it takes a long time for that overnight thing to happen. For that one day that would change your life, it takes a long time for that to happen. And when people are on a journey, they don't understand like the longevity of this shit.
Like we were 18, 19, talking about moving out west,
Yeah.
getting started on what we wanted to do. Like we definitely told each other like our wildest dreams, and like it was cool to see yours start so early with the 420.
Yeah, old school shit.
I still got that first shirt with the like, was it a Chevrolet sign?
Oh yeah, the old Kings logo. That's the old Kings logo.
And I got
I was one of the first people to do the Kings logo.
You were. And I had the double X hat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like
the originals, man.
Because y'all were I just remember you talking about it and then actually doing it.
Yeah, I had it's like I think a lot of people that we know now are the same way. Everything that I always said that I wanted to do and was going to do, I just wanted to do it. Because I'm a firm believer of if there's things that you want to do and like dreams and shit you want to chase, go do it. Just do it. Because the worst thing that can happen, maybe something doesn't pan out, but you tried it. And I think it's a lot, that feeling of not doing something is a lot worse than that feeling of you tried it and it just didn't work.
Like there's reward in risk, and the reward and risk is so great. It's really worth taking at the end of the day. And most people that end up where they are or end up in positions, you know, bigger than their wildest dreams, they had to take some type of risk. Like I remember being in class in biometrics class with Dr. Goswami. Me and my dude Aaron Stokes were like one of three black or two of three black people in class. We were learning about how to figure out like the diameter or circumference of like heart valves for like the artificial heart. And I just remember getting up out of class like, damn, like this really ain't what I want to do with my life, bro. And like on that day, I remember like throwing the deuces to Stokes and then going to change my major. And then immediately going home and making music after that. Like I made the commitment then.
Yeah. It's man, like always want to ask people what was that one moment where like something just like clicked for you to be like, yo, this is not it for me, but this is what I want to do, so I'm gonna do that. And I think everyone that is on a creative journey has that. I mean, I think it's obvious that they have that, but I want to know like what it is for everyone, and they just wake up and be like, man, fuck this shit.
Hey man, I just was like, damn, I'm really like my grades weren't hurting at all. But I definitely wasn't like all A's. And I just remember being in class and hearing people talk about this thing that we're all here to learn about, and them being way more passionate about it than I am. But if you want to talk about like Kanye samples like all day, I got you. Like we can do that. If you want to talk about Primo cuts, we can do that. We can talk about that all day. But I don't talk with, you know, I don't talk with the same passion I have for music as I do for like creating a heart that's gonna save someone's life. Unfortunately, as great as the thing is that
somebody else has that. Like, yo, we need that, but I'm gonna be over here.
Hey, have you seen Soul? That's their spark. You know what I'm saying? That ain't my spark.
Everyone's told me about it. Yeah. When it comes to music, man, like, you know, you being a producer now, I'm not even gonna say aspiring because you've had quite a year.
Man,
for real, like to humble brag, you've had quite the year.
On the low, bro.
You've been on the run with Crooks for a minute too. Shout out to Crooks.
Definitely shout out to Crooks.
What was it with music that really you know, sparked it for you? Like what brought you to music, man? What was that?
Man, on the early side, I remember hearing Poor Georgie by MC Lyte for the first time on the radio. I had to be like 5 or 6, but I was in the backseat of my mom's car, and you heard the You heard the sample come in, and she came in, and the beat was hard, and her voice was hard, and I was like, damn. So like, something about this feels special. I couldn't really like quantify it or calculate it at that point, but I remember what that song made me feel like, and then I started hearing other songs that made me feel like that. Diddy by Paperboy, Throwback. Let me see. Do G's Get to Go to Heaven by Richie Rich? Like just random songs I remember from being 5 and 6 years old. Like damn, like this is life changing. And then it was something I kind of bypassed. Like I played drums and violin as a kid, but it never really stuck. My mom didn't really like me making too much noise at the crib.
I feel that.
So those dreams were dead early. So I was like, fuck it, I'm about to just draw. I was pretty sweet at that, still am a little bit. But then I remember buying like a scratch magazine, like hearing Kanye for the first time, bruh, blew my mind.
That's crazy.
Like hearing, like my sister was dating somebody at Central State, so he used to be able to give me mixtapes and albums early.
I was gonna say, what was like their first mixtape or album that you had?
Damn. Me and my cousin stole Squad One by Lil Wayne from the Black Cultural Festival.
Oh wow.
I play Lookout and he make the licks. But that Squad One mixtape was the first one I had in my possession. Like, damn, like this is hard. Like, how come this ain't on the radio?
Yeah, that's better than mine. Mine was actually the Crisscross album.
Well, that was the first album I was gifted as a child.
Oh,
I was given Milli Vanilli, like the girl you know is true shit. Because I love that song for some reason as a kid. And then I was given Crisscross, and then she gave me a matching outfit.
Yeah. Did you wear it backwards?
Yeah, well, yeah, you had to because the tag was on the front. So my mom was like trying to make me wear it the right way, but I'm like, no, this is not how you wear clothes. Like,
I definitely like the backwards clothes too. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, early, like thinking that I'm fly. Like, I was like, oh, this is just a thing, mom. I'm a little young boy. She's like, all right.
See, I remember it folding like the moment I tried to put something in my pocket, and like it was the other way. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, this is difficult to be done. But yeah, bro, that's kind of when I knew music was on some special shit, bro. Like, but it just always seemed like it was out of reach. Like it wasn't something I can do. You get the scratch magazines, and you see this like the MPC costs $1,500, and I'm 15 years old. Where the hell am I going to get $1,500?
I barely got 40,
bro. But then I remember seeing a homie Mike Rutt at Wright State freshman year honors. It was like 2 a.m, and he was just on the 5th or 6th floors making beats.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, like, what are you doing? He was just on the laptop. He showed me Fruity Loops, and I downloaded it. And I didn't use it until like 3 years later.
Wow, it's crazy. Like, you know, everyone has their own feeling and experience with Wright State, and we're just college, higher education in general. I think there's different things about it. I think, college is really all about what you make out of it. Go for it. It's a great experience. I think living on college campuses, whatever, it's an experience in itself. There's different parts of the college experience that I think are very vital. I don't think necessarily the actual higher education part of it, because things change in those 4 or 5 years and however long it may be that you're there. But when it comes to really finding who you are and that spark that makes you want to go after what you do cannot be any more valuable than it is at college. Because first, like some people like me, I was already like away from home for X amount of periods of times and stuff. But college, when you really, really are away from home and you start meeting all these different people from different walks of life or whatever it may be, it's always a moment where you're like, yo, like, this is who I am. It builds you up into who you are. You find yourself for real.
Man, if you think about it, you know how you have like, so are you into anime at all?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you think about most animes, they have this school of very talented students and they all classify them in certain ways. And, they all have this game that they're playing to be the very best at their school.
Mm-hmm.
college is basically just a controlled simulation of the real world.
Yep.
What if you could just persevere towards a specific goal, with shelter, with food. You don't have to fall on your ass too many times, but you just do have to have the mental toughness to go out there and be able to, learn and still experience life and get hit by life and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of all college is.
Yeah.
Now some people are able to, go into the system, finish all 4 years, make the necessary connections, and just be a regular person all the way through, and it's wonderful. But then you have some people that come there and really find themselves. Some people discover that they weren't meant to be, students of the book. They're students of life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some people find passion in parenthood. Really, you know what I'm saying? Like, and some people just really ought to make their own way, so they leave and they go chase their own goals and dreams and shit like that. Like, it works out different for everybody, but it's exactly how the real world is. So like, I see when I first started out, I used to see people who like dropped out of school as like failures.
Yeah.
But that's really impossible. It's impossible to say that because you never know somebody's journey on to making that choice. That choice could be a giant leap for them,
Mm-hmm.
or that choice could be something done out of necessity, for the love of someone or something else. You know what I'm saying? You never truly know when someone's sacrifice. So, everybody just kind of adapts to it, how they get to it, man. That's why you got people that go back and finish at 54, 60.
Yeah. And it's, one of the things that, like you just said, I always thought people that dropped out were like failures and not successful. And it was until I was sitting at a table with a bunch of fucking people that were dropouts that were killing it and living life and do what the fuck they wanted to do. And I was like, damn. So this is shit that people don't tell you before you go to school. They just tell you, yo, you gotta go to class, graduate, get this internship or internship, graduate, get this job, and go into the world that way. They don't tell you like, man, you can go get what you need out of it, but sit down and really think about what you want to do and then figure your route out there. So like now I see other people that quote unquote dropped out. I'm like, damn, it doesn't matter that you dropped out.
Right.
But what matters is what you did after that. And then that's the thing. Like, cool, you went to schools, and it for everybody, man. It's not.
Real shit, man. I found that out. I found that out the hard way. You know what I'm saying? Because we're kind of told by society that if you don't do this, then you are a bum, or you are. You know what I'm saying? You're not worthy. But that's literally just societal influence, and then it's internal reflection. The people around you say, "Finish school so you don't be like I am, or you don't have to work like I do."
Yeah.
Like the work you're doing is feeding me every night. You know what I'm saying? The work you're doing is, giving me shelter. So like, I wish our older generation didn't really think like that.
Yeah.
And shit, finishing school, like my mother was definitely the reason I finished school, period. I would have dropped out a while ago. But I was like, damn, let me do this so we can at least have somebody in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that and did this shit. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean shit, my mom got like goddamn 6 degrees and shit.
Man, your mom is a super wonder kind genius.
Yeah, like, but she liked that. She liked going to school for whatever she wanted to do. She thought that her way to do it was let me go to school to learn how to do this and do it that way. Me, I'm more of like a life experience person. I need to do the things hands on. I have to like be there and experience. And that way for me to learn, I can't just learn by the book. That's why like I went my path where a ton of different things. That's just how the type of person that I am.
Damn, man, because you was definitely on your way to playing pro hockey.
Man, I still would be, but that was what happened with that was before anything academic wise that happened. Yeah, that's yeah, that was a different story. That wasn't necessarily my fault.
Yeah. But it's just like I'm just thinking of all the different like paths you've taken.
Yeah, I mean, because from when I was a kid, like every 2 weeks, I always had a sign on my door for a business I wanted to do. But like I was also taking a ton of art classes. At the same time of taking art classes, I was also at the hockey rink. Like,
Man,
then if I wasn't at the rink or doing art classes, I was at the baseball field. And then I got to middle school and it was the same stuff, but then I learned how to ride a skateboard. And I
man,
swapped the time out that I was spending in art classes going on skateboarding trips. So when I wasn't on a skate trip or filming or out doing that, I was then at the baseball field or the hockey rink. And sometimes it was all in one day. So like all of the
damn.
class and everything that I was doing, it just all three of those things just led me down different ways to get back to one. So then I just became a
Man,
multi-hyphenate person that I just have a ton of interest in able to do a bunch of different things.
damn. You never really think of that though. A lot of people, when they find their spark, they try to give everything they have to that, and that don't,
Mhm.
not realizing that you can really exhaust yourself in the process. So you being able to go in all these different arenas and really just experience how good you can be at things.
Mhm.
You're not necessarily like trying. It's not the purpose, but you're just kind of trying shit out, and you're actually good at it.
Yeah.
So you kind of created like a cipher of activity where I always mentally stimulated.
Yeah, and I enjoyed every part of it, and I still do. Like, I still go skate when I have the chance to. Like, I'm designing new decks now, and just because I broke mine, I was like, oh, let me design this because it's still me. Like, skateboarding is still me, hockey
Yeah,
is still me. Like, the merchant shit is still all of it's coming from the experiences that I've had with these things and the stuff that I've seen and people I've been around and the places that I've traveled to, whatever. Like, it's still me. It's still all the same.
it's also dope to kind of see you kind of like tell your story through your pieces.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the shit you're making now has so much more of a purpose. Like if I compare the 420 to where we're at now, you were just trying to get the brand to mean something, what you had to mean something, instead of just literally kind of creating you.
Yeah.
You are in each piece that you're making. That's what I'm seeing from all the new shit.
Thank you. It's shout out to quarantine and this pandemic
Boy,
for really like resetting the focus. And that's been kind of the theme with like the other people that I've talked to in this quarantine really reset the focus and the vision for what we all wanted to do. And especially myself, like now I wasn't working a job that I had a ton of different other responsibilities, but all shit that I hated. And I can actually
hmm
sit and like really do what I want to and have that be the main focus and have everything that is me be a part of that. And I can really focus in on telling the story.
yeah,
Like from the hats, the jackets, and everything, there's literally every single item has something meaningful behind it, building a foundation of it because I think outside of us being in a hype era where we're buying a lot of pieces because of the hype behind it, and not you and I, but like a society, a
yeah.
landscape, the culture of it, buying a lot of things just because of hype, we're missing out on the brands and the pieces that actually mean something and the brands that have foundations behind it. Storytelling.
hmm
That's what sets brands and creatives apart from the others.
And the weird thing about storytelling is that after a certain point, um, it can become like secondhand. It's like a bad game of telephone.
Hmm.
The what you initially created and put out to the people can be watered down by the time you even hear about it. You know what I'm saying? Through news outlets,
Hmm.
through word of mouth and shit like that. So, like I always preach to my sister, like your sense of style will last forever. Like the fashion and shit, trends, they're of the moment, they're going to come and go. But you really need to, like, when it comes to your look and your identity, you should really research and find things you look like I mean, like you like or and identify with.
Yep.
Um, so knowing you and seeing how you identify yourself through your work, the quality is just automatically coming out better because it's a much easier thing to communicate. You're not trying to make shit up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's more
Um,
everything was it's more authentic because personally I was trying to make things where like I was just inspired by something and I would just try to make what I just saw in my head and try to convey that, and it's hard to
yeah,
do that when like, you know, maybe lack the technical or design aspect in a lot of areas. So now the design is and the story part of it is just more authentic and it's more fluid. It's a lot easier to do now because now it's like I like, let's take the Letterman jacket for example. I've always loved Letterman jackets. I didn't have one in high school. Everyone had one. They're dope, and I really like high fashion Letterman jackets too. So how can I take what I really like and make it part of me from what I didn't have? Like, how can I get that point across and get that vision across? And boom,
Yeah.
jacket.
Cause like, I don't know, seeing you rock the jacket and like seeing it in pictures, it gives me the feel of just great varsities of our past, like that pastel jacket. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh,
be possibly the greatest varsity ever.
Woo. Yeah, true. Very, very true. Thank you for that too, by the way.
But it's like I see, like even in the grain of what like the material and the textiles, like it reminds me of that, and I'm happy to say I know like somebody that made some shit that's that quality.
Cool, I
For
appreciate
real.
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
With that same thing, man, like, you know, we all go through experiences, and when it comes to when you make beats and when you're experimenting with different sounds, like how are you able to get that across and just like what your vision and what your ear is? How do you do that? Because I don't know shit about making beats. I could tell you, well, I don't know nothing about it.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, you start out just like you start out with any other craft, man. You think you start to make what you think sounds good, what already exists. And then once you get to a point where the quality is up there, it's then upon you to say, hey, let's change some things around. Let me improve my skill set. So like right now, I'm coming out of a point at which I felt I had like personally peaked with the technique I had applied for the past 2 years of music. Like sampling records just wasn't bringing the same feeling that they used to. And shit, completing the beat just really didn't bring me the same level of joy because it had become like easy to a certain point. Um, but I had to just kind of I really had to take a step back and say, now that I have achieved like this goal, now that I feel like I have plateaued at this rot, it's time to kind of step over it, learn new things, research, do what you initially did to learn everything that you learned up to this state. Like a big thing right now is just finding new bounces, man. And you have to have some bounce out here. Today's music is not, you're not getting on the radio without bounce. You're not on a playlist without bounce, and not even just to speak industry wise, but like shit, you ain't gonna get the people moving if it ain't no bounce. Like even if you listen to a Gazelle, like the beat slow as hell, but they talking like this and got the dun dun because the shit bouncing regardless. Like,
And
you know what I'm
they're
saying?
painting a picture with that too. Like they're really, at least with me when I listen to Griselda, you know, I can see what they're talking about. That has a lot to do with the lyrics, but also the beat choice as well.
Man, like a big inspiration as far as where I am, like what I'm trying to conjure now that like me and Chris are definitely in the same space, like coexisting right now. So our lifestyles are starting to mix. So I think the more our lifestyles mix, the more interesting the music is going to be coming. I'm taking a lot of inspiration from Timbaland.
Okay.
Timbaland was able to warp sound itself and really make something like you had never heard before, something to the extent of which is still evolving to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like Brent Faye is like, you hearing he's sampling the basement from when before Timbaland was even like out there as Timbaland, like when he was just producing for Devontae, like you know what I'm saying, like that shit that he created back in 1992 and 93 still hold.
Is Timbaland your favorite producer?
Kanye.
Kanye, okay.
Easily. But Kanye, Tim, Pharrell, Alchemist, The Dream, and Tricky Stewart.
Yeah.
DJ Toon.
Okay.
there are a lot of them, but like those, Q-Tip and Ali Shaheed Muhammad for sure.
Okay.
Ali Shaheed actually does a lot of music for like Dynamite, Black Dynamite.
Oh shit. Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah, like the Anaconda Mall liquor is him and somebody else. I forget the other guy's name, but he makes all that funky ass music.
Would you be in support of like them bringing back the producer versus battles?
Hell yeah, like they actually need. So this is my take on the verses.
Okay, this
The
is
producer.
because I was gonna ask you that, like, what's your take on it, and what would you do, like, and like, who would you have and shit like that?
Okay. So the producer verses has to come back because the artist verses came a little bit too soon. They're
Mhm.
running out of artists to battle. You know what I'm saying? It's like they kind of left, like they didn't leave the essence, it just grew.
Yeah,
So now they have to get back to the producer battles, some songwriter battles, just to kind of break the monotony and get back to it.
yeah.
Um, who I would like to see, I want to see Metro and Mike Will.
Ooh,
I definitely want to see Metro and Mike Will just because, or Metro and Southside. I say Metro and Mike Will because they're both like super producers
yeah. And
that
they've
kind of trans.
crazy runs too in recent years. Super crazy
Yeah,
runs.
Mike Will probably was one of the biggest producers like of the 2010s. Probably the first big producer for real. He came out the gate swinging,
Yeah,
like with the Gucci and the Ross. But when he did like No Lie, Dance to Make Her Dance, um,
which were two huge songs. like,
like Mike Will has been on the charts, and then brought us Ray Swimmer, like,
yeah, knocked us over the head with Ray Shermer, bro. Like
bruh.
they didn't miss for a solid 2 years.
But then you got Metro on the other side, who's like leading the trap uh reveille, bruh. I had to find a perfect word for that. He's leading the trap reveille, bruh. Like he's the man behind Future's
Yes,
monstrous run.
yes,
Like
yes.
21, Savage Mode, the shit with the weekend, like Nav, like Metro really.
Metro, like Metro is a goat because of the people he's worked with that he's ascended their careers, bro.
Yes.
Like Future was dope before Metro, but when Future and Metro linked up, boom, out of here. Linked up with 21 Savage, out of here. Nav out the
Mhm.
gate, out of here, bro. Like
Yeah,
with that is different.
but then Metro also did I want to say he did Benz on Solange album.
Did he?
Not or is which one is down on the floor? Metro did that beat, bro.
Oh shit! Damn,
Exactly.
leading the charge, bro. Metro's mad young too. He's mad
And
young.
it's just, he was there for Travis early shit. Like he understand, like Metro kind of understands how to apply his sound, like, and that is something I have been working on. Um, I've been able to work with a lot of different artists, man. Like, a lot of people know me from my work with Chris, but I've been able to work with Sage. I've been able to do some songs with Lauren that's about to come out. I've been able to do some songs with Papa Gore that's about to come out. Just different types of artists, Wildflower and Wildflower in Brooklyn, man. Amazing singer. Um, my guy Holt right out of LA. I've been able to just like give people different forms of my sound, but now I want to learn how to apply my sound in different instances.
Yeah,
So, man, I'm about to go under. I'm about to under like I'm about to go like undergo a change as a producer, and it's not anything that's forced. I just kind of feel it by what's necessary.
yeah. It's when you get to a point where you don't necessarily feel stagnant, but you feel like you're ready to evolve and take that next step. It's like,
Yeah.
it's when shit. I'm already the strongest fighter in the world, but I'm about to go learn how to go Super Saiyan. Like that's what that is.
Because and then he got a whole shadow of himself now outside of his body now.
Like what?
Come on, man! Like Goku going crazy.
Gotta take it back to always take it back to the DBZ.
Mm-hmm.
How did let's talk around. Is Crooks there? Is he in the room?
He is. He playing the game.
What up, Crooks?
LJ said, "What up, bro?" He said, "What's good?"
Let's talk about like how y'all linked up, because I remember when I met Crooks a long time ago also, and I think he was mad young when I met him, because that was probably like 2014, and then I remember like shortly after y'all linked up. So how did that happen? And if you hold on, before I was gonna ask you, do you remember back in like 2013 when I linked you with Santino and y'all did that song together?
Yeah, I remember that shit, bro. That was like my first song I ever had like on any type of radio.
Yeah, it was one of the Shade channels. I forget which one, but yeah.
Shade 4-5.
Yep. I was thinking about that when I was coming up with the idea to do this series. I was writing down the people that I wanted to talk to and like the things that were just coming to me real quick. And that was the first thing, or the second thing I wrote down with you. It's like, damn, we got to talk about the Santino, the Santino track, long time ago.
Bruh. But that track I had placed with him was a result of me just experimenting with sounds present and past, man. Like at the time I was big on like textures in my production, and I was listening to like a lot of Ice Cube and NWA, and their producers like the Bomb Squad and Sir Jinx were known for like layering different sounds and samples and songs to kind of create a bed of music. So that song has like 3 or 4 samples in it.
Hard.
But like all to the same key, all blending in, all working together, just to kind of, I just wanted to see what that would be like in 2013.
Mm-hmm. It's just that evolving, it's the evolving sound, man. You start at one point, and then you fast forward some years later and be like, damn, that's what I did here, and this is what I'm doing now. And just to see your own path and growth is always very interesting to see. So let's talk about how you and Crooks linked up. How did that happen?
I was back home. I actually had to pause real quick. I'm gonna have to grab my charger, but we can keep going for now.
Yeah, go ahead. You good?
So I was at home. I was living back home for a minute. I think I ended up coming back in October of 2015, like September, October of 2015. I was sweeping the floor, listening to SoundCloud, and then I heard, man, hold up, Chris. Block Party is the one with the Swift D sample songs, right? I heard this beat tape called Black Party, and I heard, what's the one off the East Side Story, bruh? Righteous. I can't go to Walnut, they got money there. I was sweeping the floor. I heard that line on the Righteous. I'm like, hold on, let me find this nigga, man. This nigga crazy. This shit fire. Because I was like, you never hear anybody from like Cincinnati of all places. I love Cincinnati to death. I've been known for some shit, and y'all know y'all are musically, but like I never really heard anything like that from Cincinnati, bro. It was just good quality. It was some shit I felt. It was that time in my life. I was like, damn, this shit very relevant right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely thinking I'm about to be talking to a nigga that's like my age though.
That's what I thought too. I thought he was older when I first met him.
So like I sent him some beats. I get in contact with him. I sent him hella beats. He sent me like snippets on Snapchat. I'm rapping to the beats. And like he going, but I'm like, damn, he in this little ass desk. Going though, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he sent me the videos. I'm like, oh Brad, you never gotta call me, we gotta get in touch. And then when we talked on the phone, it was like we had known each other forever for real. Like we be talking on the phone
it's crazy how that happens when you meet people and it's like you already have known them for
Yeah.
that's like when like when Rolf and I met, when Wayne and I met, like that's how the conversation, everything was, and we all started kicking it. It was like, oh, we felt like we had known each other for years, not known y'all for a very short period of time.
Bro, like every conversation was just about life. It wasn't about a lot of really wasn't about no music. Like we was just so cool. It even got to the point where we got so cool. He asked me like, damn, like, are you really serious about this music shit? I'm like, nigga, what? Because literally, but like nobody I was around was ever that serious, like, or they were serious and got discouraged and were no longer like in the direction that I was walking.
Mm-hmm.
And then he asked me, and I said, I'm like, nigga, what are you talking about? Of course I am. And then we just kind of linked up, and it was just kind of a rhythmic thing. After that, prior to Chris, I had worked with artists exclusively. I worked with Trip, just kind of learning how to make music. I worked with my dude Chill. It was always like an in-house producer type of situation. I never had the typical path of let me just make a million beats and send them out.
Yeah.
Now, as I was working with these people prior to Chris, and the picture started to change a bit, yeah, I would start sending stuff out after that. But I ultimately learned like um, just the proper etiquette when it comes to sending music and communicating with people you don't know, and the advantage of actually being present with an artist and working on something completely new with them in that moment that no one else is there to hear but y'all. And then you know what I'm saying? And then when the people get it, they're like, damn, how did y'all do this? Well, it's kind of easy at this point because we've been kind of living life.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like we're one on the music side, we're one. Like
That's dope. And that's, you know, I feel like a lot of people don't have that opportunity when it comes to like, you know, an artist and a producer working together, because we're so like we live on our phones and shit, and everyone wants to email things. It's not a lot of times where you can really just be tapped in with somebody and really like create some shit for people. Then people be like you said, like, damn, how did y'all do this? We do this because we're coexisting. Like we're in sync. That's, you know, a lot of that shit doesn't happen too often.
right, like a lot of the sounds and stuff that get adopted um by just like by the public, like when people latch on a certain artist and they become popular, I used to look at those situations like, damn, like why is that not my situation? Like why is my situation not working out with the person I'm working with? But ultimately, like it's literally all about timing, persistence, and consistency. Like, yeah, you're good, but how many times can you deliver that level and higher?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like Michael Jordan is the best of all time, um, or is considered the greatest of all time because of how many times he dropped 20, he dropped 30.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He had moments where he dropped 50 and 60. But then when he scored all the points, he was like, you know what, let me go ahead and be defensive player of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me just go ahead and be a multiple time all-star. Like he just continued to be good a bunch of times. And it's kind of you can't argue someone being great once they show you that.
Yeah, that's, you know, that
So
goes back to kind of goes back to that multi hyphenate thing I was talking about. Like being good at just one thing is super cool, but when you're able to be good at that and then be good at this and then be good at that and just be all around just good at shit, you know,
yeah,
that's different, because then you're able to, you know, tap into different things. Like, let me go over here, let's do this. And maybe that links over to something else that you're able to bring back to that. You know, it's crazy. It's it's almost like when, like I use my experience of playing hockey with a lot of different things. So I'm a goalie, right? When a goalie, you have to be able to do a lot of different shit at one time. You can't just make a save. That's that's like the lowest percentage of what
yeah,
comes to being a goalie. You have to be able to learn all these different crafts and be able to be a good goalie, to be a great goalie. You got to be good at, you got to know how to make that save, when to make that save, how to get to the point to make that save position and then be able to make the next one. It's all these different pieces that you have to take to put together to make the perfect one. And that's like, it goes back to you saying about MJ. MJ was good, but was scoring wise, but MJ could play defense. He could do this and a third. And that's why he is who he is.
Shit, man. I guess I'm definitely learning a lot. I'm learning a lot from the people I have around me and the situations that I kind of put myself in. Having people like Chris around, having people like the whole team around is definitely it's enriching for real, because you get to experience life and get advice and insight from a lot of different life experiences of your peers. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, like Chris really knows how to handle situations socially. You know what I'm saying? So much to the point that it helps that it's like his music is amazing as it is, but he's able to kind of navigate a room like nobody's business. And that's his X factor. And then you got people like Alan, whose personality is just shining. It's everywhere, and it's not on purpose. You know what I'm saying? He can be as cool as a cucumber, but he can really turn it on. And that just kind of that's, you know what I'm saying, teaches you lessons about, you know, when to be outgoing and what it does for people and how you can do that in your own way. Shit, I'm sure I provide, you know what I'm saying, wisdom, good advice for the people around me and shit like that, and just like good creative counsel and guidance, man. And then like I learned discipline from my dude DJ. Like it's on the people around you just really can teach you a lot. I'm grateful to have moved to Cincinnati and got in a position in a group of friends I was in, all for making music.
It's crazy
all for making music.
How those things can just, you know, grant you so much other shit to be grateful for. Like from when I really dove into making clothes, I feel like everybody that I've met from there has had a part in that, in the journey of it, versus where it was like when I moved back to Cincinnati after school, started hanging out with Drowsy, that led me to hanging out with everyone from Self Diploma, and then that led me to hanging out with, that's how I met fucking Barnesy, that's how I met Tino, doing clothes is how I started. That's how I met Savannah, which then led me to Wavy, and like everybody in the whole fucking group was all for this one thing. Just like how you making music has led you to meet these different people and form these different relationships and grab all of this different experiences and have be part of who you are now and what you're creating. That's why I think like all these people, like we don't meet people by accident. And the people that stick,
hell no.
Like all this shit is for a fucking reason. And that's why I always start off the conversations with, you know, we've been cool since this and we've been friends for this long. But then now let's see, oh, well, you know such and such, you know them from over there. And it's all the degrees, but it's all for a reason. You know?
It is. Pause. Let me get my my charger.
You good?
But yeah, I don't think any of it's a coincidence, dog. And I feel like in the grand scheme of things, we're all gonna need each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Whether it be as partners in the businesses that we work in, or just somebody we can call when we need a certain type of advice and counsel.
I have this vision that, you know, one day there's going to be a time where everybody I know that's out here doing what they want to do, that I know that we were all homies and shit, are at this dinner table and we just raise our glasses to this entire journey that we've all been on. Because look, we've all been on it together. And all of our paths are crossed at some point. You know, we all have what our end goal, the end goal that we want, and we're all in our paths, but all of our paths are crossing over. Like it's like this.
It is like DNA.
It's like it is like DNA. It really is. It is. It's like DNA, because everything that I want to do is probably in line with something else that I know, somebody else that I know, you know, wants to do. And because of those things, we've been able to meet who we've met. And a lot of times those are going to be mutual friends. So we can all all of our paths have the ability to cross, and then the things that we do, we can all work together at some point if we choose to. And even with that, I think that a lot of us are the type of people that if we're ever in a room having a discussion with somebody and someone needs something, if we can't do it, yo, wait, I know someone that can do that. Let me call whoever. Boom. Like that's what I want. That's what I see for us to be at a dinner table, all raise our glasses, like, yo, we fucking did it. Yeah.
Straight up. I mean, 'cause it's like I remember like when you were first doing the 420, I was actually very interested in doing fashion myself.
Mm-hmm.
The whole plan was to take my refund that year, drop out, and try to go to the College for Creative Studies in Michigan or to Pratt, New York. I had a whole plan. I had a whole scheme. I knew how much the Greyhound was going to cost. Like I had to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then meeting you, seeing you do it the way you did, and like realizing that, you know, I can have the ambition, but without direction, it's kind of like futile.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You had a lot of direction in that path you were trying to go with, and you know, I had to get that about myself, about something I like to do. And that thing just happened to be music. So like it wasn't far after you doing that that I did my thing.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of that silent inspiration that happens, man. You never really know.
Yeah, damn, I never knew that. Damn.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I was about to leave Orange State, bro, and kick rocks and take that little 2167 and get on the road with it, bro. I remember how much the refund was. You feel me?
At one point, I wanted to go to Finham, but you know, it's life, man. This shit happens. Well, damn, I never knew that. That's dope. Wow.
Yeah, bro.
Wow. And shit, man, I won't even. I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I still don't know. I know a little bit more now. I know a little bit a little bit more now. But at that point, you know, I just had an idea and a dream, man. And I just figured, you know, there's things that I want to do in life. So I'm just gonna figure this shit out and I'm gonna try to get to that goal, that dream, make that shit happen, man. And I never my parents have a little bit of, you know, background in fashion and visuals and shit like that. But I didn't necessarily go to them for like advice with anything when it came to that. All they told me was just, you know, if you decide to go to LA, you get out there and it's based upon chasing your dream and you want to do that, don't quit. Don't quit. And that was the biggest thing that they stood out to me, and what, you know, a lot of things over time, especially like, you know, the process and everything, that don't quit poem and shit, a lot of that stuck out to me because it was exactly what my parents told me. They could have told me everything under the sun, bro, but they told me don't quit. And and that was it. I just had to figure this shit out, make it up as I go. And shit, here we are today.
I mean, that's real shit though. And to never quit, it's a simple concept, but it's so hard for people to do.
Yeah.
It's very easy for someone to get up and leave something than to kind of work through it, work around it, or ultimately decide like to you know what I'm saying, you can go another route.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to quit, but you can use that same route you were walking on and like trudge another path.
Yeah. It goes back to what we talked about at first, that longevity, man. It's part of the journey, and you know, it's just not built. It's not built for everybody, man.
Nah.
It's not for everybody. Shit. Well, man, this was good talking to you, bro. I'm glad we got to have this conversation and shit. It's been a minute. It's been a long time.
Hell yeah. But shit, now we like 3 hours away.
Bro, hey, oh my God. I got a couple friends over in Vegas now. Hey, couple hours or a 45-minute plane ride, bro. We there. There's nothing.
Please, bro, we trying to go outside. So if you can come, like, I don't know what you can set up, who you know, somebody with a studio, something. We want to go outside.
Yeah, we'll figure that out,
with
man.
mask on.
Definitely. Yes, wear the mask. Definitely wear the mask. Keep the hand sanitizer in the pocket. Stay strapped with that at all times.
At all, I keep the thing on me.
Yeah, got to now. Well, shit, man. Thanks for tapping in with me, Crewsheff, man. This is good. This is a really good conversation. I appreciate your time, my guy.
It's been a pleasure, bro. Take it easy.
Glad to see y'all made it to Vegas safe and sound, my guy.
Thanks, bro.
For sure.
Peace.